I really wanted to play Fire Emblem Awakening. It sounds like a pretty freaking fantastic RPG game. However, Indonesia's retarded economy strikes and I can't buy a 3DS, so yeah. However, there's a little bit of a problem with the recent Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Fates, that deserves to be talked about. I haven't played the game personally, but I've gotten reports that the game is pretty damn good. However, this game caused quite the controversy before it was released. Is it worth talking about said controversy right now? Let's find out. I've talked about my stance on censorship before and how it is one of the most ineffective thing that has ever existed. Parenting is the most necessary thing when dealing with video games because you need to be aware of what your kids are playing and you need to control them. I know you're busy with other things, but video games are incredibly influential to your kids, so please give them an interview at least once a month about how the games that they're playing and just talk about them. Fire Emblem is a JRPG game. It's not really for kids, it's for teenagers and up. Teenagers are around 30 years and above know exactly what they're dealing with in this sort of stuff. Unfortunately, some of the people who prefer this game to be catered with as many audiences as possible, including children and man-babies, have to censor the game's content. One interesting feature that this game have that is unfortunately censored for the Western release is the ability to pet your spouse, which is essentially a romance feature. A lot of people deem this as creepy, but I honestly don't see it. Just look at video, how it works. It looks pretty cute. It looks very harmless. I don't see why people consider this as creepy. If you want to see legit nightmare-fueling creepiness, I implore you, watch Boku no Pico. Here's the thing, they see this as creepy because basement-dwelling loners are gonna jerk off to it, and yet these are the same peoples that think stereotyping women in video games make it a bad name to women. Stereotyping the gamers as a whole?
Well, he's not racist.
Stereotyping the female characters as sexy and badass?
Drop the Krispy Kreme, Serpico! We need your help here!
My house look like my father and my brother after 9 months or something.
Oh, and for the record, these are the same people who think that Iron Fist should be played by an Asian American because of martial arts. Yeah, think about that for a second.
I know what you're thinking. Why aren't I Pakistani or some stone dreadlock Jamaican while you're all being racists?
And of course, the thought police of the Western country, I mean the Western video game outlets, got easily offended by this minigame and decides that it's best to let Nintendo to censor them because you see, it's not self-censorship, it's just companies making decisions of their own.
Don't make me send you to another dimension.
Have you ever considered the possibility that maybe, just maybe, you're the one influencing their decisions? It's like if you're living in the real-life version of Shimoneta. These peoples are incredibly stubborn. They don't want to acknowledge that the reason these gaming companies censor their games is because of them. Seriously, why do they got to dictate what's right and wrong for the gaming community and not, I don't know, the gaming community? Now, let's get to Fire Emblem Fates. The game is released now and I heard reports of people actually enjoying the living hell out of this game. That's pretty freaking sweet. I'm glad that people actually enjoy this game. However, you can't deny that some of the game's translations are a bit too shoehorned in. One user in Know Your Meme admits that this isn't really much of a problem. Well, good for you. However, another user brings a very good analogy to this entire situation. Let's say you and your cousin buy the exact same cake for the same price as the same place. You get your boxes with your cake, go home, and when you open them, your cousin has a cake just like he asked it, while you get the one with the parts missing, lacking some ingredients you asked, and tasting worse in comparison. It may still be a good cake, but there is no reason to be given a butchered version of what your cousin got. That's just unfair. Yes, it is unfair. However, this snarky douchebag comes into the topic and say the most retarded thing I've ever heard ever. If the fandom wants to be treated fairly, then they shouldn't want to come over at all. Seriously, they didn't ask Nintendo for these games. Be glad that you're getting them at all. Be glad that you're getting them at all? Okay, fine. I'll drop you into Amy's baking company, but don't you dare protest about the crap food or the long-ass time. Be glad that you get it. If you don't like the food, go screw yourself. I mean, wow. I cannot believe for a second that peoples like this exist. Peoples that will excuse incompetence and laziness. If you thought that was bad, V Monroe made 4 freaking videos of insanity happening in the gaming forums. Just watch them. You need to witness with your own eyes that there are peoples who will defend bad business practices. I honestly don't know why. Some people might think that this isn't a big deal, especially knowing that the actual release of the game is not that bad, but if we're letting bad business practices pass without voicing our opinions, they're gonna continue it, and in the end you'll end up wasting money in a low quality product because you keep your mouth shut and let them do bad practices. That's all for the vlog today. If you like this, you can go ahead and click the like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.